I guess it begs the question, the unsportsmanlike penalties against Montana. Was Montana doing something? Because that really seemed out of character for you guys. To get
yeah, you know, that's something that happens out on the field, and you can't let whatever they're doing get to you. That just can't happen, you know, and that's something we had a long talk about on Sunday, and that needs to stop and not happen ever again, because that plays a huge role in the game. That, you know, no matter what they say or do, or you just gotta be disciplined enough to go to the next play and play between the whistles, and if it makes you super mad, then make something happen between the whistles, but we can't have that again.
Not to belabor that point, but what they were doing, was that what you would consider outside the bounds of, you know, sportsmanship in college football, or were they within the bounds? Or?
You know, I'd rather not. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and, you know, but if anyone that was there or saw it or watched the tape, they could make a really good judgment on that, but I'm not going to go into that probably.
How about the kids who were hurt? Are you going to get them back or not?
I'm hoping we will. I don't know all the way yet. I think Andre will be fine for sure. But there could be a couple that we might not have, and that's something we'll just have to see as the week goes on.
Including Jeff?
Yes, sir.
Montana's was pass protection, was that just point to the defensive line kind of just struggling a little bit in that regard, or, you know, what is that kind of like?
Their offensive line protection?
Yeah,
there was just times they you know, we didn't get enough pressure on them. You know, there's a couple times Trey had a nice rush and got to the quarterback. Christian had a nice sack. There was a couple times the linebackers, but yeah, up front we got to put more pressure. We got to make sure that happens this week for sure.
That game did kind of look like a coming out party for DeGrew. What was he doing right?
Nate's been, you know, probably on Friday nights we have like a punish tape where big plays the guys make, and probably the last 4 weeks he's just been showing up on that more and more and more. And man, he played just with great effort and great passion, and Nate's just, you're really happy to see, you know, in-state kids, father played here, you know, all the things that you always want to see, and Nate's been playing really good football here as of late.
I guess how do you differentiate between them lacking on a pass rush, and then also holding the guys to like 2.8 yards per rush and barely 100, like, you know, it's just kind of.
You just gotta be able to do both. You know, you gotta be able to play the run and also get a pass rush. But you know, there was some things we did really well. Both sides of the ball, we came out of the gate playing well. I think, you know, besides the personal foul penalty, the penalties that killed us on offense were the legal procedures. You know, that first and second quarter, we're kind of moving the ball up and down the field, and 3 of those stopped 3 drives, and so those are both things that we have to eliminate and stop and improve on for sure. You know, Jeff came out and had 96 yards in a quarter and a half. He was going to have over 200 yards, you know, and so we just got to all keep improving and keep getting better.
Did the environment, do you think, come into play on some of the guys kind of maybe getting a little too amped up?
Sometimes. I think sometimes, you know, it's a good crowd for the home team. You know, they do a great job for the home team, but you got to learn how to put that aside and go out there and just play whistle to whistle and one play at a time and be an effective football player.
So are you guys on to the next one now?
Yes, sir. Yep. We're on. We're gonna do everything we can. Got a really good team coming in here. It's senior day. Got to go out there and play our hearts out for our seniors and come up with the best plan and have a great week of practice and go get a win. You know, have those seniors walk off that field winning their last game in this dome. And they've won a lot of games in the dome, especially the last, you know, our home record these last 2 years have been very good, and we got to finish it that way.
Speaking of one of the seniors, Mason, could you give an assessment of his game? He seemed like he was really on the run.
I thought he competed his tail off. You know, I thought he made some really good runs. I thought early he was really efficient, especially when Jeff was in there. He was being accurate, making plays. But we got to take care of the ball. You know, the 2 picks, one was tipped by the D-line, one went through a receiver's hands. But I don't necessarily think those were his fault. But the 2 fumbles, we can't have that happen. And whether they get you or not because of somebody else, you got to take care of the ball. So, but he showed toughness and courage, and that's one of the most important things you ask for every player on the team, and he did do a good job of that.
Following up on the quarterbacks, is Griffiths likely to be back? Or
I don't know. That's a good question. It looked like he was moving around a lot better Sunday night. So
he's practicing again?
Well, he wasn't practicing, but he was out there running and doing some different things. So that's something we'll see.
Seemed like Tyrese Dedman was kind of like playing at his best. It was really hurt to have him go out.
Yeah, he was playing great. You know, he was making some really good plays. Throws the ball. He's all excited after the interception and throws the ball up in the air and then looks at their sideline. You know, and that's just something you can't do. You know, it's you see everyone do it all the time. I mean, it happens all the time. You always see all the DBs do this whenever somebody does it, and you just turn and. But you can't do it. You know, and especially if you've already gotten one.
Yeah.
You know, you just got to be smarter than that. Not do either one of them because it's not worth it. You know, just go celebrate with your teammates and run to the sideline and be happy that you just made a great play. The one on their sideline really killed because it would have been 3rd and 10. You know, so and with the game very close, so that wasn't good.
He's not suspended, is
No,
it? Okay,
no,
okay,
it was
good.
just that game.
Yeah,
it was just that game. You only get suspended if it's a targeting.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay.
Sac State, what do you expect from them?
They're very skilled. You know, both their running backs run really hard. 33 led the conference in rushing last year, and he runs hard, runs downhill. Kevin Thompson's a really good quarterback. And then 12, Jake came in last week and played well. 84 is a really explosive, big, good receiver. So they do a lot of different things. They're well coached. Defensively, you know, they got the defense coordinator that was at NAU forever. They do a nice job, do a lot of different things schematically. So it's going to be a great challenge. It's a good team coming in here. We're going to be fired up and excited to go do everything we can to find a way to get a win.
So recognition is going to be a big part
Yes,
of the defense.
Yes, very important, very important.
They kind of had that like miraculous turnaround under first-year coach. Like, what do you see out of Troy Taylor? Does he have?
He does a great job.
distinct-
He's been a good coach his whole life. You know, he was good in high school. He was good as an assistant. They weren't as far away as you might think because 2 years ago their coach got coach of the year and they were really good. And then last year I think they had a lot of injuries and different things happened. And so they've been talented. They're a good football team for sure. They're very well coached. He does a nice job.
Is the talent about even between the two of you, or does one or the other have an advantage just in
No.
sheer physical talent?
No, I would say it's very even, very close. Yeah, I think it's a game where it's going to come down to execution.
Their few losses, when they have lost, besides bottling up Thompson, what have opponents like succeeded in doing from what you?
I think they've taken care of they've maintained possession of the ball. I think that's one of the biggest things. I think one of the biggest things in stopping their offense is having them stand over there on the sideline. You know, and that's something. The other day we did a great job in the first half. We had the ball for 50 plays in the first half to their 30. It was just the opposite in the second half. So we got to maintain that possession for the whole game and let their offense stand on the sideline. I think that's one of the best ways. And people that have done well against them, that's what they've done.
Their defensive trait, you see them kind of at the top of the conference in defense. So do they have some, highlighted position group there? Or is it kind of all around?
I would say their D-line. Their D-line is very quick, very explosive. They move a lot. They do a lot of line games. But if you had to pick one group on their defense, it's their D-line for sure.
How do they compare to Montana's D-line?
Different. I would say Montana's more strength and power, and they're more speed and quickness.
Does one or the other favor your offensive line or not?
Yeah, that's. We just got to get ready to play and do things that we can and try to maintain the ball. I think against any defense, the more you can keep them out on the field and wear them out, get them tired, then that really is in our favor. So we got to do a good job of doing that.
Does that quickness lend itself to a lot of counteraction from you guys or not?
It could. Yeah, it could. And I think when they're quick like that, you got to pound on them. You got to pound on them and try to wear them out.
Does it help having played them in 2017
yeah,
and all?
Some of the guys, some of the guys are still around. Some of our guys remember them. It's different staff and different schemes, so that's a little bit different. But I think it's always nice to be familiar with some. 99 is one of the really good players. He played against us then. So there's guys that stick out that you remember, and so that never hurts at all.
Yeah, I imagine they don't have a great memory of playing over here the last time.
Yeah, they might not, but I don't think they're probably not looking back at anything but this year, because it's, they've kind of had a really good year.
Is it possible that we'll see Noah Ellis, Devontae Ginwright again?
Yeah, that's a day-to-day thing, I'm not sure. We'll see.
Are they still with you guys?
Noah is still with us, yes.
And looking back, maybe at the start of this season, is there anything that maybe not even approach to Montana, but maybe some of the teams that you would change and how you started the year, just how you approach practice early?
I mean, when you look back on everything, there's always lots of things that, you might do different on this play or that play or different things, but our guys have worked hard, we practice hard, I love our guys. I think the world of our players, and they've grinded hard, and we just got to keep taking that next step, and we're not that far away. You watch the whole Weber game, you watch the first half against Montana, you watch some of the other games that we've won. We're right there. We got to finish this year strong, have a great recruiting class, and we're right there. We're right a step away. So there's a bunch of stuff but there's always, definitely you watch a game, you're like, oh, why didn't I, you know what I mean? There's always that. But in the big picture, there's not a bunch of stuff, no.
Since you're talking about next year, is Noah Ellis a guy who might move to the other side of the ball in the spring?
I don't think so.
You're gonna keep him on
No, I
defense?
think we'll keep him on defense. We'll keep him on defense.
It's kind of hard for me to see who's doing really well on the O line, but I was wondering about Noah Johnson as he just continued to play.
Johnson's a really good player.
Okay.
It'll you're just so proud of him. So how he handles himself, how he goes about his business, how he plays every game. Just a super. He's the perfect guy you want, really, because he steps on the field and he plays with tenacious toughness, gets after people, and off the field he's about a nice guy you ever meet in your life. So he's. I just think the world of Noah, and we'll miss him. But it's been awesome to be a part of his life for the last 4 years.
Yeah, you really lose a lot of seniors and leaders off that offensive line, don't you?
We lose Edwin and Noah and Sean. Yep, those are three guys that have really worked hard here and done some good things for us. So you lose those guys, but we have a lot of guys coming back as a whole team for sure.
How do you keep people engaged? I suppose senior night will take care of itself, but Northern Arizona, how do you keep people engaged for that?
I think our guys like football. They like to practice. They like to try to get better. I think we'll be engaged. We'll work hard. And if anyone isn't engaged, then they just won't play. I think but I don't see that as a problem. I think that was probably the best we took the field of any road game that we have. Like, we took that field, we were ready to play. We were fired up, we were excited, and we played well. Now we have to maintain that through the whole game and maintain the discipline not to hurt ourselves.
I'm guessing there's been no drop off in morale or anything when you first got back. Was everybody, still just as amped as ever?
Back, people were down.
Right.
And Sunday night, they were down. Now, when we take that practice field today, they need to be up. But they're definitely, the bus ride back, that's a long time to just sit there and watch the film and not feel good, but we'll be ready to go come tonight for sure.
Just a few days after that, is there any way to keep them up today in practice like that?
I think that's our job as coaches, and that's the leaders' jobs. That's the leaders amongst each other. I think if everyone just takes the field with passion and excitement and coaches that way and practices that way and plays that way, then that's contagious. And so we just can't have anyone take the field like that. They don't need to be out there if they're going to take it like that.
It's kind of out of left field, but do you leave it up to the coordinators to decide whether or not they want to be on the field or up in the booth?
Yes, I do. Yep. That's kind of where you feel you see it the best and how you can do the best. There's different people that have felt like, personally as a coordinator, I was always upstairs.
I think most people are, aren't they?
Some are. Probably more so defensive coordinators are on the sideline, it seems like a lot of times. But if you're
They still want to play.
But if you're the O-line coach, you probably need to be on the sideline.
Anything else for Coach? All right.